first got to know Stephen. And it was a really great experience getting to know his passion for this community and his sort of relentless advocacy for every Palo Alton. And once I was elected, he continued to reach out and really try and foster a relationship between the school community and the city, understanding that, you know, these are the two, the school district and school board and our city council and city government are the two governing arms of our city, and they should be working for all of the community. It's a valuable trait in a leader because Palo Altans want their government to be working for them. And Stephen's reached out to me and the community on issues affecting our most vulnerable populations, whether that's youth mental health issues, as the previous speaker mentioned, special needs, accessibility, and our most underserved and historically underrepresented communities. And so I've really come to see Stephen's passion for service, advocacy for the community, and it's frankly mind-boggling because he's so young. I mean, he and I are very much the same age, but he has been working on these issues since long before I was. I mean, he has, since college, he's been serving in government in one form or another. And I think that's very rare to see. And it's a level of experience that far outpaces his years. And so he would be a valuable asset to the city council. And I'm confident that he's going to be a voice for all Palo Altans. And I'll just say that, to repeat what was said earlier, you know, campaigns are expensive. And many candidates, and historically city council candidates and even school board candidates, have loaned their campaign significant seed money. And doing that and getting elected means that it's inherently more difficult for young working professionals, especially here in Palo Alto, to run a successful campaign. And so the fact that this campaign is already so successful is great. But for all you listening, when you listen to Stephen speak, if you believe what he's saying and you believe in Stephen, then I would challenge you to put your money where your heart is, and let's make this happen, and let's get Stephen elected.
Thank you so much, Shawnick, for taking the time out of your busy schedule of litigating, governing our school district, and raising your 6-month-old little baby to be here with us today. We really appreciate it. Next, I would like to introduce former school board trustee, former city council member, and one of Palo Alto's most fierce and knowledgeable housing advocates, Gail Price.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Gail.
Okay, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. As you know, I'm a former city council member and school board member. I've worked on many campaigns since the 1990s and served in office for 13 years. I believe Stephen Lee will be an effective and strong city council member. Trained as a lawyer, he will use research and data as one of many sources of information in a council capacity that will inform his policy perspectives, collaboration, and actions. He is well prepared for all meetings and makes valuable contributions. He's a strong proponent for social justice, diversity, and inclusion, and often speaks to these values while serving the community. I align very much with many of those points. These beliefs underscore his advocacy for more housing at all price points that can address our ongoing housing deficit. We continue to have a housing crisis. On the housing issue, he and I co-authored an opinion piece in 2017 in the Palo Alto Weekly entitled, "It's Time for Teacher Housing at Cumberland," which endorses using a combination of housing for teachers, public sector, and service workers in Palo Alto with ongoing community and recreational use. He has been an active and concerned citizen for many years, beginning as a teenager when he participated in commissions, and he's been consistent in that effort ever since. I wish we had more community members who demonstrated that commitment. In fact, I believe that the youngish elected officials with innovative and progressive thinking are a needed asset on council. Frankly, their contributions and decisions are legacy actions because the outcomes will impact their futures. In many cases, I have felt more supported and aligned in my views with younger council colleagues who have made significant and compassionate contributions to Palo Alto, and I am very grateful. Please consider these comments when you support Stephen Lee for City Council. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gail, for your kind words and all that you've done to enrich our community. We're indebted to you and your commitment to serving Palo Alto for sure. Next up, I would like to introduce Stephen's colleague on the Human Relations Commission, Patti Regier.
Hi, I'm Patti Regier, and I've been very fortunate to be working with Stephen Lee as a colleague at the Human Relations Commission. I actually discovered about Human Relations Commissions because of Stephen. I didn't know Stephen before that, but all of his work towards the community made me know about HRC, and then I applied. And I was so fortunate that Stephen Lee kind of took me under his wing in some respects, because he was very thoroughly he knows about the community. He took me under the wings, his wings, and he has enabled me to work very hard. I mean, I'm a very hard worker. I used to be a SEIU and AFSCME union organizer, and I've been involved in community organizations and on boards. And Stephen is the first person I think that is really, I have found, that comes to meetings prepared, and follows up with things and is very energetic, and I just hope that you all realize how dedicated he is and vote for Stephen Lee for City Council, because he asks good questions. He knows the community. Part of being HRC, we have to go visit, and during COVID we had to do Zoom meetings, but many nonprofits, and we also are part of the budget recommending to City Council, and I've been on a couple of committees where we had to give out allocated money. And Stephen is a team player in regards to, he really wants the best of the community. If you think of a team, our community is his team. And I really hope that you guys all work hard for Stephen Lee, because he works hard for us, and that's how we make a community, when we all work together. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Patti, for the kind words and for the dedicated work that you put in on the Human Relations Commission. We're so appreciative of your advocacy that you do on the community's behalf. And the final speaker I'd like to introduce is one of Stephen's best friends. You've already heard from her a bit. She is the co-director of our volunteer outreach, Christine Pham.
Thank you, Jamie, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone, again. Again, my name is Christine Pham. I was born and raised here in the Bay Area. Went to UC Davis for my undergrad, and that is where I met Stephen. And I'm honored to say that we have been friends for 14 plus years, and I'm so glad that he has decided to run for Palo Alto City Council. When he first announced his candidacy, honestly, I wasn't surprised. Since the first time we first met, Stephen has known what his purpose in life is. He knows that he is meant to dedicate himself to helping others through lifelong public service work. Every time Stephen steps foot into a new town or community, he actively seeks out ways to make a difference and improve the lives of people in that community. I first met Stephen at a meeting for one of UC Davis's political parties called LEAD. Honestly, I thought he was just like any other freshman trying to find something to be a part of, or just, in it for the free food. However, as I got to know Stephen, I quickly realized that he had an insatiable passion to bring about meaningful change, more so than anyone I have ever met. I don't know about you all, but when I was in college, I went to classes, got involved in a few clubs here and there, passed my classes, thankfully, and just enjoyed college life. Well, that wasn't Stephen. Stephen was different. Not only did Stephen look to make a difference for students, but his passion extended well beyond doing work on campus. Within his first year at Davis, he was appointed to the Human Relations Commission by the Davis City Council, where Stephen was a tireless advocate for both sides to work together instead of against each other. He also created and hosted numerous events to bridge the gap between the city and the students. He did this work in only 3 years and eventually left UC Davis, the city of Davis, and the relationship between the two better than he found it. This just shows the sense of urgency Stephen works with, and as well as the work ethic he puts in. I don't even have enough fingers to count the amount of times when I try to get him to join me to go out into downtown Davis. Instead, he was always had some other meeting to go to or work he had to do on another initiative that he thought would help our community. You know, the only times I was really able to get Stephen to come out with me involved our expeditions to one of Davis's many all-you-can-eat sushi restaurants. Today, that actually really holds true, except for the fact that Stephen has replaced his obsession with sushi with an obsession with Korean barbecue. So once we're out of the pandemic, if you all ever want to go Korean barbecue, Stephen is the one to do that. As I got to know Stephen through our college years and beyond, I've noticed that he remains loyal and committed to all the communities he has been a part of. As some of you may know, Stephen went to Duke Law School. I did not imagine that Stephen would end up so passionate about the school, and I definitely did not think he would be able to find the time to serve the city of Durham while he was busy with his law school studies. But of course, he knew he can make a difference in Durham and was promptly appointed to the Human Relations Commission shortly after arriving there. To this day, he remains extremely faithful to anything related to Duke, especially their basketball team. He even calls Steph Curry, former Duke basketball player Seth Curry's older brother. With that all being said, it doesn't shock me that Stephen is fiercely committed to serving Palo Alto because that's just who he is. You know, over the course of our friendship, Stephen has always been there for me. I know I can count on him for anything. If I ever need something or have a problem, he's always right there, doing his best to help me find a solution. Even if that means combing through thousands of Yelp apps to find a Michelin star restaurant that actually has good desserts, because he knows just how much I love desserts. This is why I know you'll never find someone else like Stephen, someone who will venture to the ends of the earth to ensure that Palo Alto is the best city it can possibly be. Palo Alto is his home, and he always works to make whatever he has called home a better and more inclusive place for all people. So with that, I hope you will join me in supporting Stephen Lee, a progressive Democrat, for Palo Alto City Council.